Hello my crafty friends, Corrine here from Corrine's Crafts. I hope you are well. It's Tuesday, so it's a Technique Tuesday card today, and the technique is adhering vellum or raising vellum on our projects without the adhesive being shown. Quite a long description, but something that people ask me all about. It's all about thinking through your design so that you've got somewhere that you can put your adhesive. Yes, my sentiment has gone a little bit wonky. I caught it and didn't spot it. Otherwise, I hope you like this. So I've used the stamp to create the embellishments, used the same stamp to create the background. Absolutely loving this. A little bit of colouring. But look at that vellum, how it mists what's behind, but also it's raised without any visibility. So yeah, I hope you like that. Let's see how it's made. So as is the way with a lot of the projects that I put together, I start looking at a product, and today's product that I'm looking at is this really old set of rare earth stamps. So they're the oversized floral blooms. So I don't know if any of you have seen these before, but they're lovely, and I'll show you. This is the actual size of the stamps. So they're lovely stamps, really nice ones to be colouring, and yeah, we're going to have a go with these. So I'm going to use this one here and this one here. I wanted to use this one that's a lily. I know this one isn't a lily, but they're quite similar in style. So those are the two we're going to use. And I put both of them onto my rocker blocks like that already. So we are ready to get going straight away. So this is Technique Tuesday, as I've probably already said. And the technique is hiding your adhesive with your on your vellum. It's a question, I mean, when I was doing the TV shows, it was probably one of the most asked questions regarding adhesives, is how do you hide your vellum. So I am water-based ink, fast dry ink. It is absolutely perfect for using with your alcohol pens, because obviously we all know opposites attract. So I'm just going to stamp it onto some Nina card. Look at that. What a beautiful stamp. What a gorgeous stamp. Now there is a reason that I've got these on separate rocker blocks. It's not because I'm being lazy, but you'll see when we get to the next layer and we're going to start creating the backgrounds, it's easier if I've got both of them on rocker blocks at the same time. So we're just going to, this is just a scrap of Nina that I had left over. So I'm going to do it onto here. Now these stamps don't come with dies, so if you want to cut them out, then you're going to have to get your scissors out and cut them out. So that is what I'm going to do in a minute. You can just slightly see there difference in the colour in regular white card and Nina card. It's got an orange hue to it, hasn't it? So the colours that I'm going to use today are coral. So I've got two different corals there. I've got the blend and the extender, and my dull green, because it's one of my favourite greens, and also citrus blend. I love those. So I'm just going to do this one here. Now it's up to you whether you colour and then cut, or cut and then colour. For the speed of this video, I'm going to colour and then cut. So dye-based, water-based ink, quick dry. If you feel that it's not dry enough, give it a quick blast with your heat gun, but I think this one is fine. So I'm just going to grab my, oh, that's my dark one, lightest yellow. If you don't have something like these tri-blends, if you have something like Copics, then it's just about finding, you know, each of these colours you will get individually. I like the brush nib on these. You'll see I probably go to brush nibs more than any of the others. So then I've got my coral blend and my coral extender, and I'm going to mainly be working on the two lightest ones, CR1 and CR3. These are getting a bit too dark for the main bit that I want to do. So I'm going to get my CR1. I've just put yellow in the centre, and I'm just going to come down with the coral. Now when I sort of think to myself, okay, I've got a new flower to colour, a flower shape that I've not coloured before, what I probably most times do is get my phone out and have a Google or whatever your app is that you use, and I just search for the flower. I search for the flower, I have a look at how it looks in nature, if I want to replicate it. Now there might be times when I just want to colour pretty flowers and I want them to be unique and my way. It's up to you, but if you want them to be like a particular, if you want them to look, you know, realistic, then maybe go and have a look at what you can see online. Now this is, I'm not following anything fancy, I'm just trying to colour it in a nice way. So put my first colour down, then I'm going to get my second colour, which is CR3, and I'm just going to come in from the bottom, and I'm just going to come up a little bit and then up those lines just there. I'm just dragging that colour up, and I'm just going to do the same with the bud. You bring a little bit down, remembering wherever it is overlaid, underlaid, sorry, that's what I was trying to think. Oh, it's got something laid over the top of it, then it's going to be darker in those bits. So I'm just concentrating where the lines are. The clever people, when they design these, they've already done all the hard work for you. They've put all the colouring lines in, so you don't need to. Just going to blend it a little bit there. I'm not really blending as such, as you can see, so I need to come really dark under there because it's quite a underneath one, and then I just pull it up here. And you can see the colours are so close that I don't really need to do much blending. They're sort of blending themselves, aren't they? But I'm not going to be finished here, so you can see what we're going to do. So I'm just going to go back to my yellow, get my lightest one, and I'm just going to blend that over that coral. It will blend quite well, so I'm just sort of coming out of the yellow and onto the coral, just like that, just bringing it down, just trying to get rid of that harsh line. But I haven't finished yet, so it will disappear a bit more in a minute. But you can see as soon as we start blending over, remember your lighter colour will always bleach out your darker colour. That's how the alcohol pens work. So, you know, just be careful because you are bleaching it out all the time. So we've got that. Now I am going to do a little bit of a switch. I am now going to switch to my Classiques, only because I want that fine point. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to do some little dots. Sort of a bit like pointillism, isn't it? Put them like that, and then I'm going to go up those bits. Make it a bit tiger lily-esque. Can you see, just like that? So I'm going over where the two colours meet, and then up those lines. Like I say, it doesn't have to be realistic. It just has to be how you want it. We can come up like this and all the way up there, just bringing a bit in, and then up there. Like I say, you colour it how you want. You could be doing this pinks, or you know, any colour. I mean, you get some artificial blue lilies. It's entirely up to you. You do it how works for you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you this is the only way to colour. You can just colour your way. And again, by going over where those colours blend, also helps with that transition from one colour to the other. So look at that. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? The next thing I'm going to do, I've used the brush on that one a lot more. I'm going to go back to my Classiques for a minute, just because I need quite fine. And I'm just going to come into here. So it's exactly the same as there. So I had dull green 1 and dull green 3 on there, but I've now got dull green 1 and 2. So yeah, it's just, I found the nib was that little bit easier to work with in such a small area. And bring that down, although I have to admit, I do feel that these pens are starting to get a little bit dry. I've got a couple of ink refills, but not a lot. I certainly haven't used them that much. But there we go. We can come down here. And there. So I'll do this one, you know, same techniques, slightly different because you've got broader leaves and everything, but same sort of techniques. And I'll do it the same colours. You're going to see it anyway. I'm not going to colour it all for you here now, but you'll see how I do it when I've finished. And then we can come down there. And there. So I've put that over. If you want to leave it as just one colour, then go for it. That's absolutely fine. Like I say, you do it yours. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to look here and go, where is there something laying over that green? And I'm not even really going to blend it in. I'm just going to do little flicky movements just like that, making sure there's no white bits left. And once I'm happy with that, then it'll be done. So just where there's something laying over the top, we just need to drag it out. And there you go. That is how I would colour that. Oh, I'll tell you what I would do is I'd get my CR4 and I'd just do the stamens in the bit of the lilies that none of us want. They smell the nicest bit, but oh my goodness me, you don't want them touching your clothes. And there you go. That is how I would colour that lily. Now, as I said, that's probably a more of a poinsettia, but I can make it a bit more lilia-esque, and I would do that like this. There we go. So then it sort of brings them both together. How about that? Doesn't that look lovely? So all I've done, I didn't even use my scan and cut. I just used my scissors and I cut round, and I just used a craft knife to get that bit out the middle. First time I did it, I didn't actually cut through there, and I didn't like it seeing that white. So yeah, just cut it. Right, so those are going to go on the front of my card, but I want to create my own background paper. So I'm going to put these to one side for a minute, and I've got a piece of white card. I'm going to turn that round so you can see this is just a piece of regular white card. Now it's actually a lot bigger. It's exactly half a piece of A4. So I've just cut it at 14.5 centimetres, and that's the full width. So I'm going to put that on there, and I'm going to bring back my two rocker blocks. This time though, instead of using black, I'm going to use my peach terracotta. Now this is a pearlescent pigment. I love it because it's got the pearlescent colour in, but because it's pigment, it's thicker molecules. That means it's going to take a little bit longer to dry. So just be careful because it will smudge, because we're not going to do heat embossing with this. I'm just going to get these out of the way. We don't need those there, do we? I'm going to get that out of the way. Right, so just be careful. So I'm going to do one at a time. Well, I'm going to be doing them both together, but I'm just going to start with one. So I'm going to go all over. Now, if you feel it easier to do this with a stamping platform, then go for it. It's, you know, it's your project. You do it how you want. And then I'm just going to come right down at the edge. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to change my base paper from white to craft, just so that you can see it there. You can see it a lot better now, can't you? So now I've gone on with the other one, and I'm just going to stamp on here. Now this is already different to the one that I prepped because I've got a bit more space. So I'm going to come over here with this one, and I'm just going to go a different angle. I'm just going to go just there. I don't want it to be at the same angle. We can put that on there. You see where I've got the paper underneath. So let's just go with this one, and then let's go just there. I want them all sort of going in different directions, pointing different ways. Don't know if I want them upside down as such, but I want them as different as I can possibly get. So that will actually fit. Is that going to fit in there? I didn't want that like that. I've not calculated this quite right, but you'll see. You get the gist. So we're just trying to go, isn't random hard, randomly all over this piece of card. That's what I'm trying to achieve. Let's put that one over there. And like I say, this is bigger. So normally what I tend to do is cut down to the size I want and then stamp onto it. But I decided today what I would actually do is get a bigger piece, stamp onto it, and then trim it down. Just because I thought I might be able to get the look I want a bit better. So can you see the gold on the stamp? It looks beautiful. Let's come in here with that one. A lot of this is going to be cut away, but it's still, I still want it on just so that I can see, and then I can pick the best bit that I want. There we go. Let's just put a little bit in there. There we go. I think that'll do. Right, there we go. I've now created a background paper that matches my stamped images perfect. I'm going to pick it up. I'm just going to be careful. But can you see how that shimmers? Because it's a pearlescent ink pad. Right, so what you need to do, I'm going to give that a quick blast, and then I'm going to trim it down. Oh, right, I've got one ready to show you. But that's what I did with when I was prepping it, because this will be a little bit damp if I just... it's drying quite quick. But yeah, give it a... don't want to smudge it. Oh, look at that. I love how it shimmers. Isn't that gorgeous? And it's going to be the perfect match. So let's get rid of that. And let's bring in the one that I've got. So I have trimmed this down to 4.5 by 5.5 inches. So I've got that, and my pieces match perfectly. Don't they look amazing? Now, I told you this is all about how to adhere vellum without it being seen. So 4.5, oh, let me just double check. I'm doubting myself now. No, it wasn't. It was 5.5 by 6.5. Because this is 4.5 by 5.5. I knew I had a 4.5 by 5.5. I'm going to put that on there. And then I love the effect that you get. So you've got that crisp outline out the back. And then you've got that muted look on the inside. Now, we can put that flat. Absolutely perfect. Or we can raise it. Now, that's going to be even more difficult to do. Just to raise it on foam pads, because obviously it's vellum. So what I thought I would do first is I'll leave it on, actually I'll put it over there. That's where it's going to go. And then I'm going to pop corner, sort of coming off the vellum, and this one again coming right down off the edge of the vellum. And then the only other thing that I have done is I've cut myself, stamped and cut a sentiment. So that's going like that. Okay, so what I think the best thing to do is to stick these on, because I need them, one, to dry, and two, I need to be able to see where they are to put the foam pads. So let's get the right glue for the job, shall we? I've got my precision glue gun, and we're going to come all the way. I need to come quite a way, all the way to the edges. Now look at this. This is the Nina card, and can you see how that ink has come through? That's absolutely fine. That's what you would expect with using alcohol pens. So it's not a problem. So we can then just put a little bit on here. And then that, I've gone right off the edge of there, haven't I? I didn't think this through on the bits. I just need to be careful because I've got glue where it's actually going to come off the vellum. Just make sure it's not sticking down. Going to wipe that off the back there. There we go. That is so pretty. And then this one, I'm going to do the same. I'm just going to think very top on those bits there. There we go. That's the bits where it's not. Just going to come down here with that. And then down here, round those apertures. And down onto there. There you go. You can see. So not too much, because it's... vellum isn't absorbent. Actually, no, it does go on to go that way. Vellum isn't absorbent, so if you go too heavy with your glue, all that's going to happen is it's going to ooze a bit like just there did. There we go. So we can put that down like that. Let's just give that a good press. And then the last bit I'm going to do is put this onto here. Let's move that out of the way. You don't need to see that, do you? Right, so that's going to go there, and then this is going to just tuck nicely under there. Perfect. Right, what I'm going to do, I've got a stamping block. Sorry about that pause. A stamping block. So what I'm going to actually do for a minute is I'm just going to put that up there. You'll be able to see it. I'm going to put that stamping block on there. I usually get something quite heavy. I'm just going to get my water bottle and put that on there. So that's just pressing that down for the next couple of minutes while we do the card base, because the card base is very, very simple. So if you remember, my vellum was 4.5 by 5.5. My card base is 5.5 by 6.5. So you've gone up by 1 inch. And my card base is just over 6 by just over 7. So yeah, I've just gone up a little bit like that. So I found some coral card. If you wanted to cut out the centre, you can. I was thinking of doing it, but I naturally didn't get to do it before I started filming this. So never mind. Right, let's put that on there. I love this coral colour. I don't think I've made anything coral for ages. It was really nice to do. So we can put that on to my card base. Just grabbing any little bits of ink. There we go. And then the next bit, I'm just going to move that out of the way. Just move that across. You know what I'm doing with it. Just so that you can see what's going on. Then I'm going to put this one on. I'm going to put this on flat. You can use whatever medium you want. You can be using your wet glue, your tapes. You could even put this on with foam pads if that's what you wanted. But for now, I'm just going to pop that on like that. Now, if I'd got a little bit of time, I would probably do it exactly the same as I've done with the other bit with this bit. I would probably put a stamping block over the top and just weight it down. It only needs to be a couple of minutes just to give it a chance to cure and to grab, but actually it feels all right. Now I wouldn't be doing this if I hadn't have heat set that ink, because obviously this ink could bleed. Now look at that. One thing I did think about doing with this was actually using my embossing powder, because I thought that would probably look really, really nice. I've got a little bit on there. Don't like that. Okay, so we are there with our base, and we can now think about putting the vellum on. So we can put our vellum on like this. Now we want to raise this or adhere it so that you can't see. Oh, my sentiment has moved. Oh, my sentiment's gone wonky. I don't know if I'm going to be able to lift it off. No, I'm not. It's going to have to be wonky. Sorry about that. I've obviously nudged it. Right, what we need to do is put some adhesive on. So what we're going to do is we're going to go underneath. These are 5mm foam pads. I had quite a few that were 3mm, but I wanted to raise it that little bit more. So all I'm going to do is just make sure all of my foam pads are completely underneath something on the top, and that way it'll hold it. So I want to make sure it's as supported as possible. Remember, you've got little bits cut out, so don't put your foam pads just there. I'm not going to be putting anything down here, so I'm just, it might look a little bit overkill, but it's just to make sure it's supported. Where's my scissors gone? I'm just going to cut. I've probably got some smaller foam pads, but I don't think they'll be the 5mm ones. I'm just cutting these ones down. I don't usually like to cut down foam pads because you can have, you know, if you have a look around, but I know I've not got any 5mm ones in smaller sizes. So yeah, I've had to give them a quick trim. It used to really annoy me when I used to go to the craft desk and find all the really good foam pads trimmed down. Right, when we've got all these little ones. But there we go. That was just used to be my pet peeve. We all have them, don't we? We all have them. I can put that under there. I can then come. This bit can come over here. I could do with a couple of little bits just here. I'm just going to cut one of these into thirds, and that should do it just about right. Let's go. It is still hidden yet. Can I get any more on? I just want to get it supported, because this has got to support the whole of the vellum. Right, that'll do nicely. Okay, so all I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the backs off my foam pads. There we go, just taking those all off. Oops, that one wasn't stuck down. I know, I just realised why, because it's still got the backing on. Let's take that back off. There we go. Take that off onto there, and then there, that's adhered. Okay, got a bit of backing stuck just there, and then a little bit, oh, come on, just there. Always get gunked up. Right, so making sure I've got my card the right way round. I'm then going to pop that on to here. So I've got 1/2 inch border all the way around, because if you remember, 4.5 by 5.5 and then 5.5 by 6.5. So that's there. I'm quite annoyed about that, but can't be helped. So that's gone on to there. And then naturally I would put gems just around here, but I'm not going to, because it's going to, you know, pop it down. But can you see now we've got it raised, but you can't see your foam pads. So I just thought this was a perfect way to raise your vellum. Just a little bit of a different technique for today. So what I've got now is I've got some gems, and I just coloured, I'm going to be using these ones here, I just coloured them with the pens that I coloured my flowers with. So I thought it worked really, really well, and I'm just putting them close by where it is supported. So that's support. I know it's not going to dip there, so that will work really, really well. And then if you wanted to, you could just put, oops, turn that over, come on, flip that one over, come on, there we go. I'm going to put that in the centre just there, because that looks pretty. Those aren't the matching ones. I've got some light, no, I want these smaller ones. All I've done is just use the pens just to colour the centres of those flowers so they look absolutely perfect. And then I can put one just there as well. How about that? And that is my Technique Tuesday today on how to adhere vellum so that it's invisible. How perfect is that? Can you see? Absolutely lovely. Quite a simple card. Hopefully not too long a video for you. Got a few little bits to edit out, but that'll be absolutely perfect. So I hope you like that. Like I say, something a little bit different. Lots of links will be down in the bottom in the description. I hope you can click on those. But if not, I'd love to see if you have a go at the vellum. I love how it sort of mists what's behind as well, and then you've got that image coming out from around the outside. I'd love to see any makes that you do. It'd be lovely. Thank you for sharing all of your comments with me. I really, really do appreciate that. Is really firm. I've done quite a nice lot of foam pads there. It feels really substantial. And until next time, I'll be back on Thursday with another video. So until then, happy crafting, my friends, and please don't forget to pop along and say hi if you're on my Facebook page. That'd be lovely to hear from you. So thanks for now, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye.